Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Patriot Nation TV. I'm your host, Tim Davis, and it is Tuesday, December 15th, 2020, which means it's Tyranny Tuesday day. Tyranny Tuesday. This is going to be episode 2 of Tyranny Tuesday, which I will continue discussing where we left off from episode 1. And just to recap what episode 1 was about, we discussed the elections of 2020. We also discussed the live coup d'etat that's taking place in this country against President Trump and against us American people also. And it's taking place right now, right before our own eyes. We're witnessing history, and a lot of people are still in denial of that. And they just think, it's conspiracy theories, or they think it's, just conspiracy theories. They just can't fathom the reality of what's going on. That there's a real live coup d'etat taking place in this country. So just a little recap of what episode 1 was about. It was Tyranny Tuesday, episode 1. I did exactly 4 weeks ago today. And we were discussing the election and what avenues President Trump had at his disposal to take place to correct the fraud that happened and the infiltration of our electoral systems. And in that, I discussed how he had options such as George Bush's Patriot Act, he had Obama's NDAA Act, he also has the Insurrection Act at his disposal, he had his executive order from 2018, and he also had the Supreme Court. And I was leaning towards the Supreme Court coming to his aid and his defense. And I was hoping that they're not compromised, like I always say. I believe everything's compromised now in this country. We're hanging on a thread of becoming a banana republic, like a third world banana republic. The only thing that separates us as Americans and third world countries that are actually real third banana republics is that we have nice cars, nice houses, and we have obesity problems. We're still fed and living not living healthy lifestyles. But other than that, our whole system's compromised. And the recent events with the Supreme Court and the decisions they have been taking the last few days, not hearing cases, tends to make me believe that the Supreme Court itself is compromised, or they're just cowardly. They're not doing their constitutional duty by taking these cases and hearing the evidence that was put forth to them. So here we are, Tyranny Tuesday, episode 2, December 15th, 2020, and I believe 2 things are going to happen. And one of the things which I hope, you got a lot of Trump supporters out there. They're wanting it to happen. They want a martial law. They want him to use his executive order to declare martial law. I'm not really too big of a fan of that. I would lean towards more the Insurrection Act because there is precedent set beforehand. Other presidents have used it. Like I said in the other post, John Adams used it. Abraham Lincoln used it, and more recently, Ulysses S. Grant used it. The Insurrection Act to combat the KKK in the 1870s. Eisenhower used it with the little Arkansas 9, with the colored kids integrating with the white schools. FDR used it with the internment camps. Bush Sr. used it during the LA riots. But it was never on a large scale of a national, other than Abraham Lincoln and John Adams. So we're going to get into that also. But the main thing is his executive order. And Trump's executive order from 2000, Trump's executive order from 2018, he put into it. You got to actually read it. I haven't. I read it. I'm not going to take the time to read it to everyone. You can do your own research on it and read it for yourself. There's some troubling, disturbing words involved in there, such like shutting down financial, institutions, stuff like that. But that's here or there. But in his executive order of 2018, it was more about foreign interferences and stuff like that. But the thing that gets me about it is that he has 45 days to execute that executive order. And that executive order, 45 days after the election, is actually Christmas Eve. And so what he's going to do is between December 18th and the 24th, between December 18th and December 24th, no later than January 6th, he's going to issue the executive order that he did in 2018. I think he's going to issue a nationwide broadcast and activate the 2000 executive order and declare martial law, if not the Insurrection Act. So I would just say stock up on at least 10 to 14 days of food, take enough money out of the bank for these dates. Everything will be shut down, including banks. Just read the executive order from 2018. And I'm going to be doing a detailed video on this with another patriot of that I know. We're going to do a live stream on this probably tomorrow or Thursday during the snowstorm over the northeast. So basically, let me just give a little rundown on martial law. Martial law is not described, it's not confined in any way by the Constitution or laws. So basically, there is no law that says you can have martial law. It's not constitutional. And basically, if somebody declares martial law, they're essentially saying they are the law. And that's a scary thing. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, it's still a scary thing. That's a lot of power you don't want anybody to have, even though we may need to use it. But that's why I'm more leaning toward the Insurrection Act. Now, in short, martial law can be imposed when martial law can be imposed when civil rule fails, temporary replaced by military authority and military tribunals. In times of crisis, times like we're having now. Though rare, there have been a number of notable U.S. cases where martial law came into play, including times of war, including times of insurrection, natural disasters, and civil disputes, which is what we're seeing now. Civil disputes is taking place now, and it's really not a good thing that we're seeing. I'm sorry, I think it's my boss is calling me, and so I got to go into work. I've been working a night shift, so that's why I've been lacking on my posts, and so we'll get to it. Okay. Now that was my boss. I'm so sorry about that. Like I said, there's really no precise definition of martial law. A precedent for it exists, though. Civil liberties may be suspended, such as the right to free speech, the right from unreasonable searches and seizures, freedom of association, freedom of movement, and the writ of habeas corpus. The right of habeas corpus is the right to a trial before imprisonment may be suspended. Abraham Lincoln tried that once, actually. And notorious examples of martial law are, like I said, FDR, Franklin Roosevelt's internment of U.S. citizens and residents of Japanese during World War II, George Bush's programs of wireless warrants, warrantless wiretapping, and torture after 9/11 terrorist attacks. And again, Abraham Lincoln also, even though he conceded that his unilateral suspension of habeas corpus during the Civil War was constitutionally questionable, but he defended his actions as necessary to preserve the Union. Now, let's not forget martial law throughout the course of U.S. history, from the federal level to the state level. Officials have declared martial law, soft martial laws, at least 68 times. And during that 68 times, small things like the most recent example of the martial law would have been Hurricane Katrina of 2005, and that was just a state issue of martial law. And if you can YouTube the videos of Katrina in New Orleans, you see how our soldiers, they were in alliance with the police forces. They were going door to door, taking people's guns, confiscating guns, throwing old ladies down on the floor, breaking in a house. you can see the videos where the soldiers like they never imagined doing this amongst American citizens. And so this is really why I'm saying the martial law thing is as a lot of people, Trump supporters, saying, yeah, we got to go martial law. It's kind of a dangerous precedent. We don't want a martial law, even though it may be necessary. But that's why I lean towards Insurrection Act, because the Insurrection Act, or even Obama's NDAA Act, you're focusing on foreign interferences. You're focusing on corrupt politicians, corrupt judges, compromised police. All that's what we want. If he does an Insurrection Act, corrupt propaganda, which is the media, corrupt big tech, such as Facebook, Twitter, because they all interfered with this election, and they're censoring, they're suspending First Amendment rights, they're censoring people's, speech. So the Insurrection Act can be used to put a stop to that. Like I said, Abraham Lincoln did the Insurrection Act. He imprisoned journalists during the Civil War for falsely propagandizing. Woodrow Wilson used it during World War II. FDR used the Insurrection Act, and they went after the journalists and corrupt politicians. So I can lean towards the Insurrection Act more so than these executive orders. But Trump does have 45 days to enact an executive order. If he does do the executive order between the 18th and 24th, because the 24th is the deadline of 45 days, and if it doesn't do it by then, he has until the 6th of January of 2021 to do the Insurrection Act. And if he does go that avenue of the martial law and his executive order, I just want to let patriots out there, don't be alarmed. Don't think it's the end of the world and, I'm going to start grabbing my guns and marching on D.C. and, yada, 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 because that is not the smart thing to do. Like I said, I'm going to have a live broadcast either tomorrow or Thursday with a fellow patriot, Jonathan Mashburn. We're going to go live. He has a large following and a group in Facebook and on podcast himself. So he's very intelligent. He's on the same basis that I am. He thinks like I do, just different opinions, but we're basically on the same page. And so it's going to be a very good broadcast. And I'm going to try to answer a lot of questions involving this. So like I said, don't panic. Whatever you do not engage. If there is martial law and the military, because you got to realize if there's martial law, cops lose all their power and everything. It's just going to be under military rule. And do not try to engage the army or the military, because once you start trying to engage them, then they're going to come after the citizens. Because let Antifa, let BLM, let those radicals do what they got to do, because they need to be rounded up and they needed to be punished for what they're doing. And also, I came across on Parler. There's a few things I come across, and I came across. Do I think this is 100% true? I Googled the guy. I researched who he is. His name is Colonel Perez. He actually is a real colonel. He's active in the military, and I'm surprised that this was allowed on Parler, where he gave some warnings about this. This is which I got this yesterday, a day after I posted on my Patriot Nation TV Facebook page. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay. I don't know if you can read that, but I'm going to read it off to you. Basically what it's saying, this is from Colonel Perez. It says, please echo this advisory to all patriots. Make sure that you and your family have an adequate 10-day supply of food and bottled water. You may also want to purchase an old school CB radio for communication purposes. I have an old school, I've been saying this for years now, get an old school CB for communication purposes, while you can still get one. At the same time, between December 18th and December 24th, President Trump will tactically implement the sanctions from his 2018 executive order on voter interference. This will freeze the money and assets of people and entities to include Facebook, Twitter, and Fake News Corp and Chinese U.S. financial accounts. Also, why we have prepared our land and sea against invasion. Be prepared to assist the National Guard and nation. Make sure that you have your weapons at ready, but do not interfere with the operations of military during this time. Local law enforcement will have no authority, so assemble small patriot teams to patrol and secure your own neighborhood and your own house. That's one of his tweets. This came out yesterday, and then last night I was going back on it. Like I said, I did a little research on him. He is a real colonel in the military, and like I said, I'm surprised he did this and they didn't take it down. But it is on Rumble and Parler, and it's still up. So obviously there must be weight to it. But you said you got to question everything. Then I also received, when I got home from work last night, I came across another one. I don't know if anybody can read that because I think it's backwards on the screen. So I apologize. And this was what he did 12 hours after his original post. Many have stated, this is from Colonel Perez, many have stated that they wanted confirmation for an earlier parlay. So I will give you the facts. Then you can confirm from your own due diligence. 1. Does a 2018 executive order exist? Yes. 2. Is the DNI report due on December 18th? Yes. 3. Did the president just abruptly shut down the country for the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, the 24th? Yes. Does this executive order target the finances of all who interfered with our 2020 election? Yes. 5. Has Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, and others assisted in the voter fraud scheme? And have they been linked to China and China's finances? Yes. 6. Will seizing their financial accounts trigger a reaction? Yes. 7. Is our military currently on alert at our borders? Yes. Now you do the rest and research for yourself. This is from Colonel Perez. I did a little research on him. He seems legit. Don't hold me to 100%. Don't hold me 100% to it, but he does seem legit. So just do a little investigation. Just use your little brain. Use a little common sense. I don't know what anybody's finances are, but between now and Christmas Eve, just if you take $1,000 out, just to have cash available to yourself, maybe it might be wise. It just could be a conspiracy. It could just be this, part of the deception and propaganda that's being waged on on us patriots throughout the country and the world. But you better be safe than sorry, because you can always deposit the money back. Just stock up on. First of all, everybody should be stocked up on food anyway. Whether it's cans of beans and corn and stuff like that. It shouldn't be right before a disaster or martial law where, like we just had a medical tyranny. Everybody's running out getting toilet paper and paper towels, which is totally retarded and ridiculous. But, it is what it is. People fall for things. And so that's basically Tyranny Tuesday, episode 2 today, December 15th, 2020. Just want to give you a heads up at what's coming through the media, through the intelligence, and what I think is going to happen. Like I said, if he does execute executive from the 2018 executive order, it's a little dangerous grounds. If any president's going to execute anything like an executive order, like he has, or a Patriot Act or the NDAA Act, Insurrection Act, I'd rather have. I have more faith in like Donald Trump doing it than say a Joe Biden or Obama or a Bush or any one of these other globalist past presidents that would do it, because they were only going to do it for a more insidious, a more evil plan. But so in ending, this is just a quick little video. What's coming up, and like I said, either tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to have a live broadcast. And I'm going to have a guest, Jonathan Mashburn. He's from Stand Down, Be Ready Facebook page. Go check it out if you can. And very, very informative. And like I must say, if you can, please hit subscribe to this page. It would be very appreciative. And we got to make this grow. We got to keep our movement going. We got to save America from this evil plot of destruction from the New World Order, the globalists, these liberal wackadoos, and so forth. So hope you appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for watching, viewing, showing some support. So as for now, I got to get ready to go to work. It is 20 to 11 a.m. I'm working on the graveyard shifts. Well, not the graveyard shift, but the night shift. But so in ending, God bless. Like I always say, God bless. God bless America. And everybody keep your heads up. Let's fight this fight. And we'll see what happens. So good night. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.